Hey everybody, it's Jason Wrobel here from jasonwrobel.com. That's Jason, W-R-O-B as in baby, E-L as in luscious.com. Now, today on the J-Wro Show, we're gonna be rocking out another awesome raw vegan superfood recipe in the form of raspberry coconut Timbits. Timbits are just another fancy word for small cookie filled with something yummy. And in this case, it's gonna be filled with a raspberry sauce. But first, we're gonna rock out the cookies with a little hazelnut, coconut, and superfood sweetener action. Let's start with our cookie base first, babies. Come on, let me show you how it's done. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is, in our handy dandy food processor, add 1 cup of organic raw hazelnuts, a little bit of sea salt, some ground vanilla powder, and then form our dough with some sweetener. Let's begin. So add 1 cup of organic raw hazelnuts right to your bowl, along with a healthy pinch of Himalayan crystal salt or sea salt, and also a nice pinch, maybe about half a teaspoon to 1 full teaspoon of ground vanilla powder. You could also use vanilla extract as well. And now we want to grind our hazelnuts into a fine flour. And as it's rotating, we're going to add 1 tablespoon, in this case, of a raw coconut nectar. You could use agave nectar, maple syrup, whatever liquid sweetener you want, and also a little bit of water, about a tablespoon of sweetener and a tablespoon of water while the food processor is going. Okay, so now let's check the bowl and see what our consistency is. I added a little bit of extra sweetener because I noticed I wasn't getting that ball effect. When you're making a dough or any kind of dessert crust in the food processor, really the thing to do is look at the balling consistency. What that means is it starts to kind of clump together and go around in one motion. So I adjusted the recipe. I used 2 tablespoons of raw coconut nectar and 1 tablespoon of filtered water. And again, what we're going for is that clean break. And listen, for those of you out there with nut allergies, a lot of people are allergic to walnuts or almonds, hazelnuts are a great alternative, again, if you're doing raw baked goods or pie crusts. Now what you want to do is take the dough, put it onto a large baking sheet or a plate, and form these into 12 to 14 small bite-sized balls. Now when I'm forming these, what I like to do, guys, is make kind of a thumbprint. These aren't like a traditional thumbprint cookie. I mean, a Timbit, a thumbprint, tomato, it doesn't really matter what you call it. The point is, as you're forming these little cookie balls, you want to make sure you leave a little bit of an imprint. You could even take your pinky, and you want to leave enough room to get the raspberry filling in there, because what we're going to do is put a little bit of raspberry filling that I'm going to blend up here in a second, and then we're going to close the top of the cookies. So we've got our raspberry cookies ready to be filled with raspberry filling, and we're going to do that. It's going to be super easy. We're taking 1 package of frozen raspberries, a little bit of sweetener in a blender, and then we're going to fill these puppies. Let's do this. Now you could do this step with fresh raspberries, though. I think the thickness of this filling really requires frozen raspberries. So again, take just a whole package. I'd like to add 1 tablespoon again of raw coconut nectar and give us a little sweetness, because the raspberries are going to be on the tart side. And at this point you realize you need some liquid in there. So let's add a little bit of water just to make sure the blender gets going. "30 seconds is about all you want, because with frozen fruit, if you blend it too long, it kind of starts to liquefy, which would make filling these cookies a challenge I really don't want to have today. Not today. So make sure about 30 seconds is all you need. Look at that raspberry filling. Super thick. Really easily spreadable. We're gonna fill up these cookies. Okay, so at this step in filling the cookies, ideally, what you would want to use is a pastry piping bag. But most of you probably don't have a pastry bag. So what I would suggest is taking something very thin, like a really tiny spoon, which I don't have, I know. but you can take something that's just kind of long and easy to fit in. So I'm actually gonna take the back of this spoon because it's curved, and we're gonna use this as a scoop and fill the cookies with it. So we've stuffed the raspberry filling into our hazelnut base, and the last two steps, we're gonna dust these guys with some organic unsweetened shredded coconut and a little bit of Warrior Blend on top for some extra protein. Check it out. Now, Sun Warrior Warrior Blend Vanilla Protein. You guys have probably seen my videos, you know I love this protein. Super digestible, really high in essential branched chain amino acids, and it tastes great. So you could either add this to the dough, which we made at first with the hazelnut dough, or you could just sprinkle a little bit on top. Either way, it's gonna blend well, it's gonna taste great. Let's see if I can pull this part off, shall we? I know it's daring. It's daring to put protein in a cookie, but we're gonna do it. Okay, so after we've dusted them lightly on top like a powdered sugar using Sun Warrior's Warrior Blend protein, it's time to take a taste test. These look so delicious, super nutritious. I'm gonna go that guy in the end right there, the one that looks like the alien pod. Okay, here we go. Taking it to the face, y'all. My favorite part. Mmm. You got raspberry filling on the inside. So good. Well, the flavor of this is really fantastic, guys. We have a really nice, light hazelnut base. That raspberry filling is delicious, tart and sweet at the same time. The shredded coconut on top with the Warrior Blend protein. This is delicious, super easy, really great. Kids are gonna love this snack. So if you guys dug this recipe video, give me a fat thumbs up below and leave me a comment on this video. What's a quick, super easy go-to cookie recipe or sweet snack that you love to make, and maybe I'll make a version here on the J-Wro show. Couldn't let that one survive, you know what I'm saying? He was half dead, I had to kill him all the way. So guys, thanks so much for tuning into the J-Wro show here on YouTube and checking out my raw vegan superfood recipe for raspberry coconut Timbit cookies. I also want to thank Sun Warrior for hooking us up with the amazing vegan Warrior Blend protein to use in our recipe today. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter. I'm all over the place. Jason Wrobel. It's Jason WROB as in baby.com. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the J-Wro show, what in God's name are you waiting for? Seriously, it's like the best raw vegan videos on the internet. Subscribe, check out more videos on the way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you soon. I got to dive into another one here.